to answer these questions.
Exactly.
Okay. And then part 3 takes those part 2 topics and goes even deeper.
Right. They'll ask you to discuss broader issues related to the part 2 topic.
So like more abstract and analytical questions?
Yeah. Exactly. For example, if you talked about a hobby you enjoy in part 2,
Okay.
they might ask you about the importance of hobbies in general,
Okay.
or how hobbies can benefit people's mental and physical health,
Mm.
or maybe the role of hobbies in society.
So it's about taking those personal experiences and connecting them to bigger ideas.
Exactly.
Wow. It's pretty impressive how they've structured this whole test.
It is. It's very well thought out.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different aspects of the IELTS speaking test.
We have.
Is there anything else that's really important for learners to know?
Well, one thing we haven't talked about much yet is the importance of natural spoken English.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
It is. A lot of candidates make the mistake of trying to sound too formal in the speaking test.
Oh, really? So like using really big words and complex grammar.
Exactly. But that can actually backfire.
Oh, how so?
Well, it can sound unnatural and rehearsed.
Cut
Like
that.
you're reading from a script instead of having a real conversation.
Right?
And remember, the IELTS speaking test is supposed to simulate a real conversation.
Yeah.
So it's important to use language that feels natural and spontaneous.
So how can you make sure you're using natural spoken English?
Well, one tip is to listen to a lot of native speakers.
Oh, okay.
Pay attention to how they speak the words, they use the rhythm and intonation of their speech.
So like absorb it by osmosis.
Haha. Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
What else?
Another tip is to practice speaking with other English speakers as much as possible.
Right. Getting as much speaking practice as you can.
Exactly. The more you practice, the more natural your English will sound.
Okay, so it's all about practice. Practice, practice.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today,
We have.
but I think we've given listeners a really good overview of the IELTS speaking test.
I hope so.
So just to recap really quickly, what are the key takeaways for learners?
Okay, so first, remember that the speaking test has 3 parts,
Okay, 3 parts.
each designed to assess different aspects of your speaking ability.
Right. Second, keep in mind the 4 key assessment criteria.
Fluency and coherence, lexical resource, grammatical range, and accuracy in pronunciation.
That's right.
Okay?
Third, be prepared to talk about a wide range of topics.
Okay.
You never know what they're going to ask you.
Right.
Fourth, focus on using natural spoken English.
Don't try to sound too formal.
Exactly.
Okay.
And finally, practice, practice, practice.
The more you practice, the better prepared you'll be.
Absolutely.
Great advice.
Yeah.
All right, so as we wrap up here, is there anything else you want to leave listeners with?
Well, I would just encourage everyone to really think about their strengths and weaknesses as speakers.
Okay.
Which of the 4